Well, it is time to finish off the Rack and Ruin set with number 330, The Blum Affair. And I will give my overall thoughts on this set at the end of this. Let's just say that I really did enjoy it. This film particularly was different yet again. It's set in 1926 Germany. It follows a Dr. Jacob Blum, a respected Jewish industrialist who is falsely accused of murdering one of his employees. And as the case unfolds, things become clear. The investigation is led by corrupt officials, fueled by antisemitic prejudice. Little to do with justice and more to do with hatred.
Wissen Sie, ich habe mir neulich mal sein Gesicht genau angesehen. Erstmal so der ganze Duktus. Dunkel. Die Augen, die Nase. Intelligent. Aber raffiniert.
It has this wonderful opening that really just grab you. And I wasn't sure what I was going to get with most of these films. This one just caught me right out of the gate. It's about a con man. Someone who's set up a sort of sting to get somebody with a little bit of money, taking them home, murdering them. This becomes the victim that Jacob Blum is accused of killing. So we know from the outset this didn't happen the way the authorities are telling us it happened. And you get to see the corrupt investigation unfold in front of our eyes, how they're just unwilling to look at clear evidence, how they're willing to go with feelings rather than evidence.
Hier wird ja nicht geforscht, wer ist der Täter? Hier wird immer nur gefragt, warum ich es getan haben könnte. Das Wort eines anständigen Mannes hat kein Gewicht.
The whole idea of following the criminal, is seeing him pick his target and to take him out at the start was gripping. It's wonderfully shot. It's exciting. You don't know where it's going to go. The aftermath of that, again, has more thrilling moments throughout it. You get to see him really just show what an awful person the criminal is. But all the way through the film, he is held in good standing by the investigators because he's feeding them information which they are feeding him, and turning everything into pointing toward Blum as the man responsible for this. It is inspired by a real miscarriage of justice, which when you see the film, you're like, nobody would ever really be like this. But to find out that it happens is just shocking. There's a kind of procedural realism to this one, along with some moral urgency. And the way it's framed, it feels like a documentary. It feels like we're just watching this unfold, and there's nothing we can do to help or to help people understand. You just watch people making drastic mistakes without any consequences.
Wenn du vernünftig bist, kann hier etwas herauskommen. Hörst du? Den da gibt's nicht mehr. Es gibt nur dich und mich.
Like I say, it's one of those movies with some great standout sequences. One of my favourite was the interrogation sequence, where it's just so chilling how the manipulation and the menace throughout this is just leading where the investigators want things to lead. Like I said, they don't care about the truth. They just want justice, or their justice. The courtroom finale was gripping, a kind of really understated showdown between evidence and ideology, where, realising the mistake, there's no grand gestures, just an almost, you win some, you lose some. I utterly adored this film. I thought from the opening sequence where it just grabbed you to where it kept surprising you, how it was unfolding, and the sheer shock of seeing how they would just grab this person and think, you're getting it, just because.
Dr. Blum und Bremer sind völlig unschuldig.
Augenblick mal. Augenblick. Da steckt doch wieder was dahinter.
Now, although it doesn't really fit in with the rest of the movies, as in the derelict Berlin after the war, it shows that mentality as it leads up to it. So what led to these events, these kind of miscarriage of justice, these thoughts and the persecution of people is really apparent throughout this movie because of that. But it's done like a really great thriller. It's something I would thoroughly recommend. For me, this set has been pretty terrific. 4 movies which I think have been genuinely great. One which was a little bit average for me, but not bad. And I was a little bit worried into a set that would be more about the history of films coming out of Germany right after the war, rather than being great films. But these turned out to be both, which I was really surprised about. I'd love to know your thoughts on the Blum Affair, so let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, or fell somewhere in the middle. Would you like to see more of these films? As always, there is more content up there. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box are links to Patreon, membership program, manlyfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. See you next time.